how did this happen?
Hey guys, that's $1,000 question, and right now we simply don't have an answer from the district, but one thing is clear: someone or a group of people at DPS dropped the ball.
When Chrysler called and they wanted proof of my high school diploma, I sent them the diploma, but there's no proof of the school.
Miana Jones says she got that call after applying for a job. It turns out bad record keeping at Detroit Public Schools under emergency management may be keeping her and a friend from working with the automaker. Fiat Chrysler could not find any proof Jones or Devontae Robinson completed high school in 2012 and says their alma mater, Detroit Cares Alternative Academy, seems to have never existed.
I worked 12 years fighting in school, fighting to be top of my class, and you mean to tell me that was all for nothing?
Jones and Robinson tried to get their records from DPS-CD in person and over the phone.
So I actually called, and the lady told me they have no records of our transcripts, diplomas, stating that we graduated, nothing.
So now I'm without a Chrysler job, thanks to Detroit Public School System and Reverend Sheffield.
Reverend Horace Sheffield heads up the nonprofit that ran DCAA from 2007 till its closure in 2012. The school was authorized by DPS as an alternative education program. Sheffield, who's currently out of the country, spoke with Fox 2 by phone.
The Detroit Public Schools is responsible for the management and maintenance of these records. All this has been submitted by us, and somewhere along the line, some of these records have been lost or misplaced, or I'm not sure what happened.
A spokesperson for DPS-CD tells Fox 2 that in 2011 and 2012, while under emergency management, the district failed to properly put student records from contract schools like DCAA into its student information system. And after learning about these former students' plight, the district will make sure those records are entered. Now, Reverend Sheffield says he did his best to keep track of all of those student records, even after sending it to DPS. He says he's going to reach out to Chrysler and get them the information they need once he gets back into town next week. Now, the big question: how many contract schools did DPS have, and how many former students did this affect? The district did not have an answer. We'll be working to get one in the coming days. Yul, Taryn?
Well, Randy, you have to feel for these students who work so hard to get their diplomas, and as you said, how many are out there, but any idea on how long it will take to get these records into the system?
Well, DPS spokeswoman says that she's going to be working with Reverend Horace Sheffield to get all of that information and then getting it from him and then putting it into their student information system. Now, Reverend Sheffield is out of the country. He'll be back next week, so one could assume, hopefully, they'll have this done by the end of next week, and hopefully we'll have an explanation about how this happened to begin with and also how many students this affected.
Yes, we'd all like to know.
YouTube, what's going on? Trey back again, hit you with a video. Now this video right here comes out of Detroit, Michigan. Big shout out to all my peeps in Detroit, in the Michigan area. You all know who you are. Hold your heads up. And also, let's keep Flint, Michigan in our prayers also. I must say that off top because a lot of people don't speak about Flint anymore. But at the same time, this story is not about Flint, even though I will get to that one soon in the coming days and weeks. But this one is about Detroit. How this woman, Miss Miana Jones, says she went and basically filled out a job application for Chrysler Fiat. And they basically pulled the application, you know, checking it out, checking her credentials and everything. And one thing about most of these jobs, especially with these type of factories jobs, these industrial jobs, they're going to require you to have a high school diploma, GED, whatever you want to call it. But a high school diploma is what we're talking about in this matter. And this woman, knowing that she went to high school department, the Detroit Public Schools, DPS, under the emergency management. But anyway, now she knows she went to high school and she knows that she did what she's supposed to do, made good grades, and basically got a certificate of graduation. But at the same time, when it was time for the job, the source to pull the transcript for the high school diploma, it wasn't no record of it. So either this school was full of BS, full of shit, or the school wasn't accredited. And this is what happened a lot when these schools don't be accredited. And you have to ask yourself, how are these people able to do this? Because I don't care what school you go to. If it's an official school and it's accredited by the state, that's why you need to make sure that it's accredited by the state. Go in the office if they have an office. They should have an office if they have students there. There's money flowing in and out. So make sure it's accredited. So I don't know if that's the situation in this matter, but the sad thing about this point, this woman have to go through a whole bunch of hoopla and BS trying to get a job, even though she did graduate high school, but it seemed to be no records of her ever going to high school. And that makes you wonder, is it just a Michigan thing? Because it seemed like the strangest stories come out of Michigan and Florida, and Georgia a little bit. But Michigan and Florida, sometimes Tennessee be on the rise. But anyway, what the hell is going on in this country where people go to school, but then you don't have no record of them ever attending? I'll be mad as hell if that would have happened to me. But anyway, I'm going to read a snippet from this story, and I'm going to give my opinion. Surely as we go. Detroit high school graduates find out their diplomas aren't legit. Too legit to quit. 12 years of hard work for nothing. Just gone down the damn drain. And I'm telling you, I would be hot as a wet hen out there. Anyway, how would you feel after attending school and receiving your high school diploma only to be told by potential employers there's no record of you ever going to school? Matter of fact, who are you? We don't even think your name Trey. What's your real name? Imagine having to deal with that. It's like the ultimate insult. You feel me? Like, you think I'm gonna waste my time filling out an application for this company, and I know damn well that you all require at least, if not a college degree or some college experience, at least a high school diploma. Damn near everybody require a high school diploma now. I mean, you even got certain McDonald's who won't even hire people unless they got a high school diploma. I tell you, you better get your education. You better get in there while you're young. Now, according to Fox 2, Detroit, that's what happened to Miona Jones and many others who attended a Detroit academy and supposedly received their high school diplomas. The source says they earned the diplomas, but there's no record of their accomplishments with Detroit public schools. Like, what the hell, is this a setup? Because it sounds completely like a damn setup. You know what I'm saying? Now, reportedly, former students of the Detroit school are having difficulty getting jobs simply because their prospective employers can't find proof of their education. Well, we got to go to the source then. You know what I'm saying? If you want to find out something, don't go to the tail. Go to the head. You know what I'm saying? Let me talk to the head instead of talking to the ass. You feel me? Forget all these running around like a dog with chasing his tail. No. Let me go right to the source and find out what the hell is going on with my credentials. According to Jones, she received a hopeful call from Chrysler after applying for work. Now imagine how good she felt. These people calling her, you know what I'm saying? In which Chrysler is a very good job, good benefits. She had been waiting for response. However, when it finally came, it was the worst of news. The source mentions that bad record keeping is to blame at Detroit public schools. Chrysler called and they wanted proof of my high school diploma. I sent them the diploma, but there is no proof of the school. How is that possible? Let me repeat that for those who didn't catch that. Chrysler called and they wanted proof of my high school diploma. I sent them the diploma, but there is no proof of the school. So where were you going then? You had to been going somewhere, and somebody was getting paid off the back end. This is how this thing worked. Somebody was getting paid off the back end of this. So why is there no proof when you was going to an actual building? It's not like you were just going online like some of these online courses. Some are legit, some are fake. So I'm just going to keep it real with you. Now, allegedly, Fiat Chrysler couldn't find any proof that Jones or Devonnie Robinson, Jones' friends, completed high school in 2012. The two say their alma mater, Detroit Cares. That would have threw up a red flag right there, because they always put benevolence in there. Benevolence, a sign of a good deed, good intentions. When you see them signs like that, take heed. Detroit Cares Alternative Academy seems to have never existed. So did Detroit really care? It sounds like to me the name of the school should have been Detroit Don't Give a Damn Alternative Academy. Now, note, however, from a simple search, you can clearly find information on the school. There's a Facebook page. Also, there's a lot of Facebook page for every damn thing else, but that don't mean that it's real. There's a Facebook page which hasn't posted since 2011. Ironically, as well as a physical address. You mean to tell me you got a damn school academy, so you're not going to promote each, depending on what you are, some semesters, quarters, or whatnot, your years, whatever. So you're not going to post nothing each semester, each quarter, new ideas, new curriculum, guest speakers coming, new programs, you know what I'm saying, new training. You're not going to post nothing since 2011. That shows that's fraud right there. It's been a fraud committed against these people at the expense of somebody, most likely the damn taxpayers. I'm telling you, it's so many scams out here. You feel what I'm saying? These people like 50 Cent was back in the gap. Get rich or die trying. Now she says, I worked 12 years fighting in school, fighting to be top of my class, and you tell me it was for nothing? Jones questioned emphatically. To no avail. To further their efforts, Jones and Robinson attempted to retrieve records from the Detroit Public Schools Community District in person, as well as over the phone. Robinson told the source as follows. Let's pause. Let's think about it for a second, like this song said. Stop. Think about it. Anyway, now she went in person trying to get her records, which should have them right there if they're there, if it's legit. You know what I'm saying? So why wasn't she able to get it? Let's see. Now she says, I actually called and the lady said they had no records of our transcripts. Diplomas stating that we graduated nothing. You know why? Because they haven't posted since 2011. You graduated in 2012. So they been shut the door down. You feel what I'm saying? They been shut the door. I don't understand how they even allow this to go on. Just like I don't understand how can you still be drinking contaminated water in certain parts of this damn country. But hey, you know, nobody want to talk about that. Let's continue. So now, I'm without a Chrysler job, Jones mentioned, thanks to the Detroit public school system and Reverend Sheffield. Sheffield's always a damn crooked ass preacher somewhere in the midst behind these schemes, if you will. And for those who have eyes and they can see, know exactly what I mean, it's always somebody they put in front of the people like, you mislead these people right here. That's what sheep do. That's what shepherds do. They lead the flock to slaughter since you all want to be sheep so much. But what I'm saying is this is why is a preacher involved in this, a Reverend Sheffield? What you need to do, and what I advise people to do, is check into who this Reverend Sheffield is. Then you will see what's really going on. Now, according to the source, Reverend Horace Sheffield was in charge of the nonprofit which oversaw Detroit Cares Alternative Academy from 2007 to its closure in 2012. Why did it only stay open 5 years? The school was authorized by Detroit Public Schools as an alternative education program. So if it was authorized by the Detroit Public School, I don't know if that's their way of trying to avoid to say that it was accredited by or what. I don't know how they're going to use that term, but if it was authorized, so shouldn't Detroit Public Schools have some kind of records on backlog of these students graduating? Shouldn't Detroit Public Schools have their records somewhere in a file cabinet some damn well? Because it's amazing how you got people death records, you got their mortgage records, you got their bank records, but you don't have people high school records from this one particular area? Now, Sheffield, who's out of the country, spoke with the source by phone. And he mentioned this as follows. So when you meet these people and you associate with these people, it's very ironic they out the country. You know what I'm saying? They're somewhere else. No, why aren't you right here in Detroit fixing this damn issue? You trying to avoid the issue. You done got paid. You gone now. Let's continue. The Detroit Public Schools is responsible for the management and the maintenance of these records. All of this has been submitted by us, and somewhere along the line, some of these records have been lost, misplaced, or I'm not sure what happened. Let's read what he said again. This the Reverend Horace Sheffield talking right here, the one who was basically the front man of this scheme. He says the Detroit Public Schools is responsible for the management and the maintenance of these records. Not me. I don't have to oversee them or nothing. Then what do you do, Ralph? You know what I'm saying? What is your position there? If they in charge of every damn thing, what do we need you for? Let's continue. All of this has been submitted by us and somewhere along the line. Can you tell me along that line, along that timeline, so I can go to that source? Some of these records have been lost, misplaced, or I'm not sure what happened. But that's not what they saying. They saying the school doesn't exist. They saying all the records don't exist. So what's this about some being lost, misplaced, and why are you out the country? You know what I'm saying? Why are you out the country? Now, I know you want to travel, you want to do your little thing or whatever else. You probably got some more people to go scam. But at the same time, what kind of sense does that make when he says some of the records? Notice the word some. That's the point. But then, if you go back and listen to what the people said at the actual place, they said the school never existed. Let's continue. And it turns out Sheffield is correct. Fox 2 reports that a spokesperson Now this where they do damage control right here. Let me tell you how it worked. Reports that a spokesperson for the Detroit Public School Community District states that in 2011, in 2012, while under emergency management, see, it's another thing they throw out there, under emergency management. Okay, the district failed to properly input student records from contract schools like Detroit Cares Alternative Academy into its information system. So guess what? This is how we can also prove, okay, I'll give you a mistake. We'll give you a mistake. But at the same time, was there other schools affected by this? Are there other schools and only people that can talk about this, well, answer this, not talk about it, but only people that can answer this question thoroughly and fully and honestly is the people that's in the Detroit area. So my people in the Detroit area, please chime in, or people in the Michigan area got relatives in Detroit and just recently graduated. Are there any other schools they're not giving people their degrees, or if they giving the degrees and these degrees are fake? You feel me? So please chime in and let us know so we would know what's really going on, because he says that the district failed to properly input student records. So the district failed to properly input every last student record. I can see maybe 10, 20, 30. So the school, how do you mess over a whole school though? I mean, I don't understand that part. If you have all these children, all these young adults or whatever, I'm not gonna call them children, but if you have all these young adults, these teens going to your Detroit Cares Alternative Academy, how do every last one of them records get lost in just like it never existed? I don't understand that. Anyway, now fortunately, after hearing about all the troubles this has caused students, the district says it will ensure those records are entered. Why didn't you do that from the jump? Why didn't you catch this? You feel me? It's funny how you can audit people from 1970 and 1980 and all these other people you can audit and go back and they files and stuff, they bank portfolios, but at the same time, you can't even think to go check on your own schools. I know something is very fishy about this story right here. Now, Sheffield says he will reach out to Chrysler and get them the information they need once he gets back in town. You got a fax machine, don't you, Sheffield? I'm sure you do. They got a Costco some damn well, unless you somewhere way over. Well, he said he was out the country. So I know they got a fax machine. I know just not America has fax machines. So if it's something that you could fax these people, you could have been faxed these people. But how many of you all think that Mr. Sheffield is going to go to Chrysler himself and get that girl her job back, Miss Miona Jones? Anyway, yet, moreover, as Fox 2 mentions, the big question now is how many contract schools did DPS have? And how many former students does this affect? Just like I just said, you know, if there is anybody else that's been affected by this, as a matter of fact, you people in the Detroit area, you need to question these diplomas and stuff, especially if you're not coming from one of these main high schools, whatever the high schools they have there. If you coming from these little private academies, it'd be all kinds of red tape and strings involved in that mess. It says, but of course, when the source asked the district these questions, they didn't give an answer. So how do they know how many people have been affected? Is it only certain parts of the city affected? Is it certain parts of neighborhoods or school districts that's affected? And why is this not affected as a whole? You know what I'm saying? So on one hand, you can have one school and you can have the administration. You can have everybody checking everything, making sure everything legit. On the other side of the track, you can have people not giving a damn, not putting in records. It's just whatever. You know what I'm saying? And these kids graduate thinking they done did something. In all actuality, done wasted their damn time because you sitting up here telling them the school don't exist. We don't have no records. So if the people at the school place said it don't exist and we don't have any records, what can Sheffield do? Anyway, hopefully things turn around for Miona Jones and her friend, as well as anyone else affected by the district's records negligence. All in all, let us know your thoughts about this situation. Please let me know your thoughts also about this situation, because it's a very sad day and time where even when you try to do the right thing, like Spike Lee say, you still have to go through a damn hula hoop, red tape, jump over cars, crawl on the 18-wheelers, jump over houses, just to get to where you need to be, while the other people don't have to do a damn thing but just go to school. That's it. And go on to their career. But it's strange how certain other people have to go through all this mess. So I get it. I understand. And we need answers about this. And people in the Detroit area, chime in the comment section, or people that's kin to people and know people there. Chime in the comment section and let us know, is this just affected in one little demographic, or is it affected in Detroit as a whole? Because it's something really going on in Michigan, man. Wow. I'll leave it at that. Anyway, if you like the video, press that like button. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and also definitely share the video. And like I said, check your credentials, check these diplomas, and then also some of these college degrees also, especially if you're coming from these places, alternative academies and all this stuff. You need to check your you need to check your paperwork. Anyway, y'all stay blessed, stay woke, because it's strange times we live in. I'm out.